Hello and welcome to another edition of the Streamcast. I am Static Shock and I'm joined by
Blade.
And today we have a very special guest. A few pods ago we had Matt from Burnout Brighter, and today we have got yet another guest from Burnout Brighter, the coolest group of gamers, the other side of the pond. We really appreciate their work when it comes to indie game reviews as well as podcasts and their super funny bonus stage content. Please welcome Destinee.
Hey guys, what's up?
Hello there.
So I know you guys picked names, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm going to be Nyota Aura from Star Trek, who is like, you guys know who she is?
I don't.
Quick
but...
Google search will tell me.
Quick Google search, and then when you see who it is, you're going to be like, how did I not know who that was?
She's not from the original crew, Spock, is she?
Yes, the original crew.
Oh, cool. Yeah, she was really cool.
Yeah, so that's, just call me Nyota for the rest of the show.
All right, really good pick.
All right.
Also,
Yeah.
like, I'm not the biggest Star Wars fan, but Star Trek fan, sorry. But I have started watching Lower
Blasphemy!
Decks. I knew that was coming. I have started watching Lower Decks. Have you seen it?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, it's so good.
Fair enough. It's so good.
So good.
I can't stop watching. It's the best thing I've seen all year. Well, top 5 things I've seen all year.
Oh, nice. No, I'm
it's up
still
there.
watching Bob's Burgers.
Good
Ooh,
shout.
that's also
Nice,
very
yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I'll
up
watch
there
that.
massively.
So, Destinee, obviously you are part of Burnout Brighter, but for people who don't know what that is, would you like to tell the people a little bit about what you do for them and what they're all about?
Absolutely, guys. So the Burnout Brighter podcast is a podcast that focuses on mental health, gaming, and social justice issues. I like to bring a lot of attention to social justice issues and use our platform to raise Black voices, people of color. That's kind of like my shtick in it. Not that Matt and Darren don't want to, but I feel like as a Black female voice and wanting to see more inclusion and diversity within this industry, that's something that I put on the forefront moving forward with our podcast and everything that we go into. And just really quickly, we are going to be doing a special series for Black History Month for the United Kingdom, partnering with Raise the Game and Yuki. And you guys will be one of our special guests on the show, which I'm really excited about. So yeah, that's kind of what I do on the show. And I talk a lot of smack and I keep Darren and Matt in check. So yeah, that's me.
It's very needed and it's much appreciated, especially that last bit. We love that and we love Darren, but yeah. I think you complete the platform, the group,
Right.
the trio. And we are more than happy to partner up with Yuki as well and be on your special showcase. I think it's a great opportunity and we are honored that you chose us.
Absolutely. I mean, like, it's a pleasure that you guys want to come on because we want to showcase you. We're trying to lift each other up. Enough of this pettiness. You know what I'm saying? Let's all reach those goals. So I'm tired of people like tearing, like in our community, it happens a lot, right? Like somebody will do something and you're just not proud for them. You're not happy for them. And I just feel like we need to stop the division within us. And like, we're not each other's competition. We can all make it to the top if we all help each other get there.
Absolutely. Yeah. There's no need for cliques in this kind of world. So
yes.
Yeah, we will win together, really. Would you like to also talk about your webcomic series? Because you don't do that enough.
Yeah, so my webcomic I started about 6 years ago. It's loosely based off of me and some of my closest friends. It's about 2 gamer girls, kind of like slice of life. One of the most important things that I wanted to do with that is to showcase a lot of diversity again. So like the main character who's based off me is African American. James is part of the LGBTQ plus community as a Black male, which you don't see a lot of. I mean, you're seeing it now, but definitely not in comics. Flan, who is the second main character, is actually Filipino and white, so she's of mixed race. And then we have the boyfriend of Puds, who's Native American. So we're just trying to get a little bit of everybody in here to have like the perfect bite. So Yeah, that's kind of like what it is. It's just me, my humor, which is a little crazy. I suffer from inappropriate laughing syndrome. So most of the situations I put them in, most people would be like, and I'm just like, yo, that shit was hilarious. So it's Pudding and Flan, and if you just look up Pudding and Flan, it'll pop up. We have a Twitter, we have Instagram. I just started posting it on my personal TikTok, and we have a Facebook page. So yeah.
So we'll get into today's topic of discussion, which is going to be, of course, Black History Month, and we're going to talk about the intersectionality with gaming. So right off the bat, I want us to all talk about Black representation in gaming and whether you think it's been done well, whether you think it's on the up. So I do have a couple of stats, and the amount of Black characters in gaming is about 10%, which on the surface seems about good. You know, that's about the same about of people in the population. So it looks like accurate representation. But then when you go deeper into the stats and you see that a lot of those, what make up that 10% are like football players or sports stars or gangsters, a lot of GTAs up in there. So it does make me wonder whether true representation of Black people have been reflected in games. I would like to know what you both think. So I think we'll go with Isaac first. What do you think about Black representation in games? Do you think it's been done well or no?
Oh, right on the spot, you know. All right then. It's actually funny you say that. Well, actually, it's not funny you say that because we were doing a pod today, and of course, I was meant to be getting ready, so it's actually on topic. You should say that. But basically, I did a bit of searching to make sure like I had everything ready, and no stones were left unturned. And because I think it's the type of games that I play. So in my studies, I guess, when you play like an online game, so your Apex or whatever, and stuff like that, where you can have just lots of characters, just lots of random characters, you can get a Black person in there. But when it comes to like a single player story driven game, there's actually not that much, unless I'm wrong and I just haven't played these games. But I didn't find a lot. And the ones that are there, they've also thrown in some comic relief, which is really annoying. So one of my favorite characters is Saz from Final Fantasy 13. And the things he gets right, he gets so right. Like he's a the mission to save his son. He's the only person with sense in that entire crew because they're all just trying to like change the world in the dumbest way possible by believing in the power of friendship and all that, especially a guy called Snow. And it's like, no, you need a plan.
Right.
And like Saz he just gets pissed on a little bit. Like as a whole, I guess not, but just little things that are annoying. So when they all escape, there's a really cool shot with all of them sitting on the top of I think it's one of an enemy bird or an enemy like plane or whatever. And like everyone's striking a really cool pose, and you've got Saz at the back who's holding on for dear life. And I'm like, come on, couldn't you have done something a little bit different with him? And it's just little things like that annoy me. But in terms of us being represented as we are, I don't think it's done amazingly well. I think it's still done quite poorly, in all honesty. There's never been a time where I've played a video game and like saw a Black person. I was like, oh man, that person's like pretty cool. I fucking love this game. Obviously, I guess there's kind of Kratos, but that is an ambiguous case, I have to say. As much as I love the game, as you said earlier, there's GTA, but it's GTA, man. Like, which was also made by a team of white guys. Like,
Yes.
it's
Yes.
great game. Don't get me wrong, but
I'm
I mean,
glad that you brought that up. Yes.
And I don't think it's done well at all. I think it has to catch up to, because it's weird. Like the video game industry has now become bigger than I think it's the film and something industry. And
TV and
it's
film?
weird. TV and film, yeah,
film?
some things. Yeah, thank you. And it's weird because like in TV, we are getting more, Black representation, but that's not translating to games now, even though it's become bigger. So it's like, whoa, this is there's really a vacuum. There's really like a space that's just being like ignored and just left. And I mean, this industry is so big already. Like, imagine if you just got a game that had, Black people done really, really well, and you slap that in there. Like, fuck yeah, I'm buying that. Fuck yeah, I'm playing that. I guess we've got Deathloop now, but that's very new. That's only just come out this year.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to include that. And it's one game. So yeah, like, you know, doing my research for this pod, it was really tough to, like, you know, bring things together. And I know, like, Miles Morales exists and it's a great game, but here's the thing: Miles Morales' first game was basically just the sloppy seconds of Spider-Man 2018. And don't get me wrong, I fucking love the fact that we've got Miles Morales, but at the same time, it was more of a DLC than anything. He's getting his own game now. I think he's not even getting his own game. Spider-Man 2 is just going to bring both things together, really. So I'm not even going to count that as being like, oh, representation. Like, I'm glad it's there, but it wasn't the plan A. It was the plan B. Like, give us something that's just ours and that we love and that has us in it and us doing the things that we enjoy. And here's the thing: like, you know what? It's exactly the same as making a game for people who aren't black, because, like, here's the thing, right? Everything that we do and we enjoy, it does have parallels and similarities to everyone else. It'll just be slight differences. Like, I don't know, maybe the shirts we wear reflect where we come from. It's just little things like that, or just a little bit of slang. But for the most part, we, like, all these other protagonists. So, you know, Nathan Drake, he's off an adventure, he's an archaeologist. We got a black archaeologist. You could have a black Nathan Drake. Would it be hard to do? Just small tweaks here and there. And to go back to what I said about Final Fantasy 13 of SARS, small tweaks here and there. Don't have him comic relief, like hanging on for dear life off the ship. Have him striking, you know, a cool pose with the rest of the team that he's part of, and, like, because he is a big member of the team, and none of them are getting as far as they are without him. But yeah, that's my 2 cents. I don't think there's enough. We need more. I'm gonna leave it there because I've rambled on for long enough.
No, I mean, you made some very valid points.
Yeah, agreed.
I think one of the problems with representation, just across the board, is that a lot of characters that we see in video games are based off of what stereotypical Black Americans are. Do you know what I mean? As if, like, there are no other, like, cultural differences or nuances. And I don't like it. I don't like white creators creating Black characters. That has always really bothered me, because you don't really know us well enough to create us. And everything that you create is what you've seen on TV or in a music video. GTA is the worst for this. GTA is absolutely the worst for this. And then you have all these players playing it and still thinking that that's how Black culture is. Like, that's what Black culture is. And that's terrible. It really is. And another thing that makes me really sad is you have Japan creating these games, and they don't even use Japanese people in their games. They use white people in their games. Like, for example, Final Fantasy. Do you know what I'm saying? And I was pretty pissed off with Barrett's character in the remake, because he was so fucking annoying. And I was like, that's what they think we sound like. That's who they think we are. Right? And that's, we are so much more than loud Black angry men, or loud Black females, or over-sexualized singers, or football players, or basketball players. We can do so much more. We have done so much. And so that's what needs to be represented moving forward. I don't just want Black representation for, like, I don't want to just see it in games. I want to see it in the industry, so that we are represented correctly, and not just a caricature of what you think Black people are. So
yeah, very well put. Yeah, I agree with it. Yeah, no, I agree with all of that. Yeah, I think both of you have made very good points, Isaac. When you said Miles Morales wasn't plan A, it was plan B, that hit me a bit harder than it should have, because it's so true. And it's it's the truth, right? So it's just one of those things. They don't consider us. And you know who I mean when I say they, the people with actual power in this industry. It's really sad. GTA, unfortunately, is just one of those ones that is always going to get a buy by the people, because the people love it. And I think, like with a lot of these issues, it stems down to society. Society has been really bad with, I don't know if integration is the right word, but with getting people of different skin tones together. Like over here in the UK, there are so many white people who have never met a black person in their lives. Their only reference is the TV shows and the movies that they watch. So they have this weird innate hatred because of imagination. It's really bizarre.
Well,
And of
it's
course,
not even just TV, it's in the news. Do you know what I
yeah,
mean? Like
yeah.
they try to portray it in the news. The thing is that like, and I love how you said it so like politically, but let's just be like, let's just be honest here. White people who they're the ones with the main money and they're the ones who continue to allow this narrative to be pushed. And I know that's shitty, but it's facts.
Yeah.
It is facts. You know what I'm saying? And so like whenever you have a black person trying to create something, it doesn't get the same amount of play, doesn't get the same amount of exposure. You don't see enough of it out there. There are so many movies that come out from black creators and you don't really hear about it until maybe like a week until it drops in the theater.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's a problem too.
Yeah, it's just as big a problem, if not more, because it's just a lack of awareness. People don't know to support. Then the conversation doesn't become black people aren't supporting black people. It's now black people don't even know black people who are putting out content that they'd like to enjoy. The machine is the way it is, and obviously does need to be taken down, but
dismantled completely.
100%. I think Barrett was a beautiful example because I really disliked playing the remake of 7 just because Barrett was so 2D. There was nothing to him.
There was nothing to him. It was sad because they had so much. They gave you a character who was a single father of an orphan, that different race. Like he was doing this for his daughter, and you made him the loud, black, angry man throughout the entire. I was just like, it's unnecessary, and you made him seem uneducated.
Oh yeah,
and that really, really fucking bothered me. And I was like, Japan, I'm gonna need you to do a little better. You have one job, one black character, and this is what you did. It would have been better if he was mute, like in the original game.
And that's a whole other issue that we need to fight, because Western racism and Eastern racism are two different types of racism.
Yes.
They probably have originated from the same demon here, but Japan and countries like Japan are decades behind countries like the UK and the US.
Yes.
As mad as that is, because the UK and the US are well behind where they should be. There is just complete and utter disregard for, darker skin. Even for native Japanese people, it's something that needs to change. This whole bleaching culture, for example, that's something that's just toxic, and
it's running rampant. And it's sad because it has to do with colorism. Do you know what I mean? Like that's within our own communities, but that also stems from white people not okay. So for example, back during slavery, if you had really dark skin, you were considered a field slave, which obviously had harsher treatment than if you had lighter skin. You were considered a house slave, which the treatment is better because you looked more presentable. You were closer to what the white beauty standard would be, right? And so we have that just across the board. We have that in our own community, our own beautiful little black girls who don't see enough representation of a variety of skin tones, thinking the only way they can make it is if they pass for white. And that's because that's the way it's been for so long. So I'm just going to bring up one show that kind of pissed me off, Bridgerton, because they're like, oh my God, Bridgerton is like breaking molds. No, it's not. Like they cast maybe 2 or 3 black women and all of them looked as if they were mixed race or light skin. And there's nothing wrong with that. But if you're going to sit there and say that we're breaking the mold by being more diverse, I need people to stop casting just mixed looking women and dark skinned men. Like, I don't like this narrative. Like, we're all beautiful, and you are literally putting the ideas into these young black girls that the only way they can be seen as beautiful or important or represented is if their skin is a lighter tone. Like, they've had fucking, they've had studies where they've asked little kids to pick which doll they liked versus a white doll or a black doll. And many of our beautiful black babies are are saying that the black doll's ugly compared to the white doll. That is some psychological shit that is just like been embedded into our video game industry, into the movies and the TV, and we have to stop it. We have to stop it. It's almost like cancer. It really is.
Wow.
Sorry, that was really deep. You get me talking about racism and stuff, and like I just get really hyped because I grew up during a time where like the only black characters that I loved were like Shauna from Jim and the Holograms. She barely got any screen time, and Storm. Those were the major black female characters in the 80s going into the 90s. Yeah. And then if you saw a black character, it was always the best friend of the white main character. And then that was considered to be diverse. Never saw his family or anything like that. Yeah.
Yep.
You've just ruined Hey Arnold. And
I'm
you're
sorry.
not wrong for doing so.
Yeah.
But it's
That's
it needs to be, done. This conversation needs to happen. And I mean, maybe this entire topic is just going to be like racism and what we can do to make things better for future people. But I mean, a lot of the issues, like why we're having this conversation in the first place, is because of weird alien mindsets like that. Lighter is better, and that's just trickled down generation to generation. Where people nowadays, there isn't really a reason for them to have this mentality, but they still have it, and they still implement it onto their children, and it's really sickening. This is a conversation that needs to happen. So you're both right. It's just mad to look at, right?
That's why Black Panther was so important. That's why it was so important, and like people didn't understand, and like I was trying to explain it to like my white friends who didn't get it, and then like there was this one guy who got really upset, and he's like, "What do you mean I don't understand the nuances of Black Panther?" And I'm like, "Look, the fact that you're getting upset as I'm trying to explain this to you from a black female to a white cis male lets me know that you really don't understand, and the fact that you're not willing to listen to me, like I'm not calling you uneducated, I'm telling you about things you might not understand because you're not black and you haven't had to experience it, and the black experience is vastly different than the white experience."
It does make me upset when people, so like when Black Panther came out, everyone loved it, great. First film I watched more than once in the cinema.
Same. I was supporting the shit out of it. I was like, to see it 4 times.
But now there is this weird, I don't know if you've seen it, this weird discourse that people only like it because it's a black film and it's not that great.
And it's not us who's saying that. Well, I mean, there are a couple of us who are saying that. I'm a little upset with them. I mean, like, I need y'all to stop. All right, you're part of the problem. But I remember seeing it for the first time in South Korea because there was a special showing and it got shown in South Korea before it got released anywhere else. And sitting in that theater with my white friend, Cody, shout out Cody, got free tickets to the premiere. And so he asked me because he knew I was very hyped about it. And so I went, and I remember like crying at scenes, and like nobody else knew why I was upset, right? They didn't get it. And I remember walking out of that theater feeling so proud of what they had created. And the fact is that it's not the first major film, okay, because we had Blade and everything. This is the first major film that showcased Black people in such a way that they didn't need to have a white character carry the film, like a really famous white character carry the film, because that's what Hollywood will do. They'll be like, oh, it's a Black film, and then they'll have a big name fucking star in it who's white because they don't believe in us. This is the first film that did not do that, and that's what's amazing about it.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you talk about Blade, Blade, obviously Wesley Snipes, but then the entire cast, the rest of them, majorly white people, majority of them were white.
Yeah.
Whereas
Blade was out there just like fucking shit up, but like he was like Blade in Oklahoma with no other Black people except his mama, who I think got with a white guy and then tried to kill her own son. It was a fucked up story.
Yeah.
But whatever. I mean, like, big ups to Wesley Snipes for that.
Well, with Black Panther, what they actually told the story about Black people, like the world was considered Black people, and there were white actors here and there, but they were very much the minority, and they felt like it. and you could almost feel it in the way the dialogue was delivered that I am the minority here and I'm slightly uncomfortable with this, and I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. But they were educated. And I think
Oh,
that
yeah.
was what, and I love the fact that they were like, we don't need any of you guys. We don't need any of it. We are our own culture and we are strong. I think the only sad thing is that I totally understood the Lost One story, because I felt for Killmonger, even though I don't really care for Michael B. Jordan. That's a different story. I felt for Killmonger because I was like, that is literally how people in America, and I don't know about people in the UK, you guys can tell me, but like, we don't have a history. Our history stops with slavery, right? So we
Yeah.
don't have anything to go back to. And I feel like Black people in America try so hard to be like, Africa is our roots. And then a lot of people in Africa are like, we don't want anything to do with y'all. Y'all have just fucked up y'all's opportunity over there, blah, 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 because of what's in the media.
Mm.
Because of what's in the media. Like I've met a couple of Africans when I was in South Korea, and one, he was just really upset and angry, and I was just like, I have done nothing to you, sir, and I cannot help that I was, that my ancestors got taken over to the US and they squandered their chance at success after slavery. And I think a lot of people don't realize that after slavery ended, it's not like Black people just got like repercussions and everything was all good and gravy.
Yeah.
Like they actually, a lot of them starved to death. A lot
Yeah.
of them didn't know what to do. A lot of them
Mhm.
wanted to go back to slavery because they had no other skills. And people in the South were not trying to hire Black people all of a sudden just because the government said that, hey, they're free now. A lot of them
Yep.
got killed and murdered because there was a lot of anger there. And that's not what, it's not talked about.
Yeah, that
enough.
was
Heard no lies.
yeah. If I talk about like gaming a bit more with the representation and
Oh
stuff.
yes, gaming podcast.
Yeah, let's
Go
go
on.
back. Let's go back to
Yeah.
gaming.
Well, I mean, I feel like I've already said everything. Like, people who are famous already in sports are famous in games. So like people like Neymar and Mbappe, Pogba, they get all the front covers and all of that stuff. But then when Isaac, you mentioned single player experiences, not a lot of those focus on the Black experience. Like we've had Last of Us, we've had Uncharted, we've had God of War, we've had so many different unique games, but they're all trying to tell not the same story, but a story centered around a white person. And what do we have to do to get that same treatment, love, and respect for like just a Black story? Like Miles Morales was the closest that we've got, and that was only 2020. So we are well behind where we should be. Definitely was a great example, as you said as well, but that's only the other week. We need more experiences that speak to Black people, because I know for me, when I was growing up, if I was told close your eyes and imagine an anime character or imagine a cartoon character, I'm thinking of a white character straight away. I'm not thinking of someone that looks like me, because there's no representation in games. I don't think that I can get into certain industries because I'm not seeing that on screen. I'm not seeing that on the credits, when the credits are rolling. So that's just another problem that affects our medium a lot, that has stemmed from the systematic racism that we've seen and experienced for many, many years.
I think we need to, well, I really don't think it's up to us. And that's what's sad about it. It's up to the people in charge to give us the opportunity to create things for ourselves, because we have the talent, we have the education, we have the know-how. It is being allowed into that space to be able to creatively flourish. And that's part of the problem. Also, we're not being backed with money in order to create. Like, it's really hard for a Black person to get a loan in the same way that a white person could get a loan to start their own company. Like that's because of the system. So it really is. I don't think the system will ever change as long as the people at the top are, comfortable. But I think the people who have made it, it is up to them to help the rest of us get to that point. And when I talk about that, I'm talking about like the Oprah Winfreys of the world and the Jay-Z's and the Beyoncés who have that money, who could give those opportunities to young Black unknown up and coming creatives, right? So that's what I feel. And that's hopefully, if I ever get to that point and I have money like that, that's what I want to do. I want to create for us, something by us, for us. And right now we just don't have the collateral to get to that point. We're making small changes, and small changes are happening, and that is good. But like, to do something big, we need the collateral. It's about the money.
Yeah.
And it's about the money to the people who are at the top. And if they don't feel they can make money off of you, regardless if we feel like we're being underrepresented, if they don't feel like they can make the money off of you, and they can make the money off of remaking Snow White for the 57th time, then that's what they're going to do.
Yeah, money is everything. Like,
it is. It's what makes the world go round. You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? People don't want to invest. People at the top don't really want to invest in Black people unless it's like, you have to work 10 times as hard to show, you know what I mean? To show that you're worthy of being invested in. Like, you have to go above and beyond. And like, that's what I've always been taught, like, by my dad. And then I saw it in real life, you know? So I had an incident happen when I was in South Korea, and my boss at the time was like really pushing me to take on the management role. And I didn't really want to do it because it's already a lot of work doing what I do, because I always put my all into my job. It's what I've always been taught. And then she didn't want to pay me for that work.
Interesting.
But then I found out that she was going to, like, I had to ask for it, where she offered one of my coworkers, who is a white male, she just offered it to him. But the thing is that like, he wouldn't have been doing the same role. He was just a teacher. I would have been an academic coordinator. So she wanted me to take on the job, take on all the extra work without offering me the pay, but would just give it to him without even quite, just offered it to him. I had to ask. And even when I had to ask, I had to negotiate. And then she was like, well, what if we like cut $200 from each of your paycheck, and then at the end you get the bonus? And I was like, no.
Not the role. Just
what?
Yeah, legit. This was a conversation. And I was like, no. Why would I do that? That's not a bonus then, is it?
It's not a bonus.
That's withheld money that I already made, that I've already like proven myself to make, you know? Like, I'm already, like, I am the first person at that school who's ever won Teacher of the Year 3 times in a row. If that is not showing you that like, I'm about this shit, I'm about my shit, and I'm going to like give you my all, and you still want to shortchange me, what is this really about? Because it's not about my ability to do the job. It's something else. Like, you don't think I'm worthy of it, and you don't respect me the same way you respect this guy over here who hasn't even been here as long as me, but you're willing to pay him more than me.
Yeah,
so
it's not on.
It's messed up. It really is, and I'm tired of it. I'm really tired of having to work like twice as hard to get the same recognition for somebody who could fuck off and not do as much as I did. You know what I mean? Like,
no, that's damn. That's a really,
it's the harsh truth.
It's the harsh truth.
I'm sure your parents have told you that. Like, you gotta, like, you always have to work twice as hard.
Yeah.
Just being Black. Like, it's like, we're not even slaves anymore. I'm still out here slaving away, trying to prove myself to people who don't give a shit about me.
Yeah, no, that is very true. And yeah, I'm sorry that happened to you. That's a really
it was an eye-opener.
A harsh experience.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it is. And I'm not sad about it anymore. I just realized South Korea is not for me. Because if I have to prove myself to a minority, because I'm just throw it out there, South Koreans are a minority. If I have to prove myself to y'all, then we aren't on the same page, and I don't want to be there. Like, I already have to do that in the US to a bunch of people who are still the minority, but rule everything.
Throughout the small roles that we've seen on the screen, whether it be small or the silver screen, we have had some representation. Obviously, Static Shock. We've had, a lot of other characters. So, what characters in gaming or in other media have you really identified with in a positive way? And we'll go with Destinee first this time.
Storm, just right off the bat, I absolutely love how powerful Storm has always been portrayed. I hated Holly Berry's cast as Storm, and I don't like any of the other live action casts. I'm tired of you casting light-skinned women for Storm. Storm is beautiful, dark, and you should represent her that way. Okay?
Yeah.
Strong, dark, beautiful Black woman from Africa. Just represent her the way that she's supposed to be represented. Like, I'm tired. Stop it. Stop using colorism. Like, it's unnecessary. Her,
Yeah.
and this is not a superhero, but I've absolutely always loved her character. Claire Huxtable from the Cosbys. I wanted her to be my mom. Like, just straight up. She's beautiful. She's educated. She's smart. And like, I always wanted to be her. I wanted my own little Cosby family without Cosby. We won't talk about that. But I always wanted that. And just honestly, any Issa Rae for going out there and doing her thing and just being herself.
Absolutely.
Like, any Black woman, like, I love my Black men, I love my brothers, but any Black woman who has gotten up on the stage and just been herself. Angela Bassett, who I still wish was Storm, who I hope that in some movie they like recreate her and like it's like Storm after she's aged up, because Angela Bassett is wonderful. There's so many women of color who have just been on media who have been absolutely amazing and groundbreaking and doing all kinds of stuff. Dorothy Dandridge, who was the first African-American woman to be considered for an Academy Award for Best Actress. Lena Horne, Eartha Kitt, Catwoman. Like, there's so many that have just paved the way to let me know that we are indeed needed. We have a place, and we're going to rock that place to the best of our ability, because all of them have been absolutely amazing and killing it. So, yeah, I have a lot of inspirations.
That's really nice.
Beautiful. Yeah.
I just want to add on to that Storm point. It's crazy that my favorite Storm has been X-Men, the animated series, X-Men Evolution.
Yes.
03 series.
Yeah.
Because that's like dark skin, white hair, and she's a boss. That's my favorite Storm. I don't like any X-Men movie. I just want to put that out there. I don't think any of them have been good. All of their Storms have been terrible, in my opinion.
Absolutely terrible. I get into an argument. You guys know who Aaron is, right? Aaron from wow. Sorry, Aaron. I forgot the podcast you're on. Anyways, he literally thinks Aaron Sheeney, but I forgot his podcast. He literally thinks one of the best lines is from Holly Berry, where she asked the fucking dude, like, do you know what happens when Thank you. Oh my God. Thank you. I was like, that's so garbage. She would never say that. Storm would never waste her oxygen to breathe those words into life. She would just zap his ass. Why would you ask that?
I will say, for the sake of fairness, there was a cut scene that makes that line slightly better, but overall, the line is still trash. So the cut scene doesn't really help its case. But there is more context. I will say, for fairness, I'll put that in there.
We'll say that for fairness, but
yeah.
But when you heard that, you were like, "That's not Storm."
Yeah.
Why would she say that?
She wouldn't even waste her time. Good.
It's not good. It's so bad. I don't know who wrote that line, but they're no longer working in Hollywood.
They might be. That's the problem.
Oh God, they probably are. They probably are. You're right. But yeah.
How can you think that's a good line? What do you think happens to a frog? The same thing that happens to everything else. What?
I literally lost so much respect for him when he argued with me about that. I was like, yo, I thought we could have been best friends, but now I'm not even sure if I want to be acquaintances.
Was he being like ironic or something?
No, he really thinks it's a good line.
Wow. He's
yeah.
got, do you know, I don't know. I'm not going to
interesting taste.
But yeah, interesting taste. Very political. Thank you.
I'm so political.
I'm going to say it's shit. It's shit taste. It was terrible. Terrible.
That's a bad line from a bad portrayal. Halle Berry, we love you, but I don't think you should.
She's not an action hero, okay?
Yeah, she should be in no superhero movies.
Catwoman was garbage. I don't know why she read that script and was like, you know what, this sounds good.
She saw the bank account.
She did see the bank account.
Yes.
Isaac, what about you? Prominent or favorite Black characters in gaming or other fiction?
I don't know if I can follow what just happened, but
no, you can.
Speak from the heart, bro.
Yeah,
be honest.
What, just in fiction or like gaming, just anywhere really.
Anywhere.
Gaming, ideally. If not gaming,
Um,
then you could talk about any other media.
You know, I only looked at main characters for gaming. I'm sure there's like some banging side characters for gaming, but we don't want to talk about side characters. No.
Well,
We'll
if
talk
they
about
if they did
headliners.
something for you, you can still talk about them.
Yeah. I think I'll start easy and then work my way up if I can think of any. But obviously, it was mentioned earlier, Aunt Viv. Like just strong black woman.
Yeah.
Strongest black woman I saw as a kid growing up. Because I loved that family dynamic. Because growing up was just me and my mum, and then that was it. So watching like the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and things like My Wife and Kids, I was like, oh, this is the black family unit. Like you grow up, you get a big house, you're successful, you're rich.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah.
Aw.
You know, I was like, okay,
Oh,
okay,
yes.
this is what we
Living
do.
in that fantasy world. Yeah. Marry a judge.
Yeah, you know, and then you grow up a little bit and you realize, I'm in London, and a studio apartment probably cost me £1 million. So that dream's a long way away. But no, Aunt Viv was just like, anytime it came out to stand up for her kids, like she was always there. She never faltered. When it came to like handing out the discipline, like she did it as well. She was always tough but fair, and like she was. Even though Uncle Phil was the head of the house, it was really Aunt Viv, because I remember
It really was.
100%. Like I'm not sure if this was dark skinned Aunt Viv or light skinned Aunt Viv. Like I think dark skinned Aunt Viv that's the Aunt Viv I remember. But obviously, her character, I think they still tried to bring it into light skinned Aunt Viv, but
It
I
just
don't know.
didn't.
Yeah,
It didn't work.
Yep. Didn't hit the
Nobody
same.
was scared of light skin Aunt Viv.
Do you know what I
Nope.
mean?
You know what
Like,
I'm saying?
even the way they dressed was slightly different. Like you see dark skin Aunt Viv, you're like, oh, let me behave. You see light skin Aunt Viv, and it's like, this is the art teacher,
Right?
Oh, it's
She's
the
giving you
supply
that
teacher.
look.
Yes, right.
We can mess around.
But I think there was like one episode I found really funny, and I think like Uncle Phil, so he's an idiot. Like he's going through something, and he's not allowed to eat junk food, and Will is like sneaking him in burgers. Yeah, and like both of them shouldn't be doing this. It's terrible. Will's gaining money, and he's not thinking about the health of his like dad. Yes, Uncle
Yeah,
Phil
it
is
was his dad's figure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
let's
because his
be
daddy
honest.
was trash.
Do you know what I mean? And then you've got like Uncle Phil, who again not looking after, and then Aunt Viv finds out about this, and she loses her shit, and as she should. Like, what the hell are you two idiots doing? Yeah, and just a really strong black woman. You know what? The whole family are going to be my pick for prominent black
Fair.
people in
It was
fiction.
good. It was
really good.
Yeah, it was a
Honestly.
staple in the black community.
Yeah,
I
massively.
can imagine.
And like, go on. No,
I was just going to say, to this day, people are just arguing over My Wife and Kids and Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, which one was better. But they were both elite shows in their own way. They both had their strengths. I don't want to talk too much because I'm still letting you answer.
Oh, cheers, man.
They're remaking it. I just wanted to throw that out there.
Why?
The Fresh Prince. I don't know why. I'm
There's
upset
no
about it. I was
What
like,
enough seasons?
it's not broken, so why are you trying to fix it?
Yeah,
stop.
I don't know.
Like,
Is Will Smith involved?
No.
Oh,
It's like a
I'm out.
retelling.
I'm
Oh,
out.
All right then. So, wow, that's some terrible news.
Yeah, sorry.
No, it's fine. The truth isn't great to hear, but it's got to be heard. And there's one episode where, I think Will, he meets his dad, but his dad is shit. And then there's that really nice scene with him and Uncle Phil. And I think Will in real life didn't have a father growing up. So this scene hit home for him. And then there was a point where it stopped being acting. And it was just Will just like releasing his feelings. Like, why wasn't he there for me? Why didn't he love me?
Yeah.
And then Uncle Phil just sees this and they like have an embrace. And as a kid, I was like, oh, this is nice. And later on, I find out, no, this was...
It was real. He actually got
it was
emotional. That was not supposed to happen.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, that's so cool. And it's just good seeing things like that because, not every black kid has their father. And, at some point you have to realize that that's okay. And there are other... role models that you can have in your life. It's not the end all be all if they're there or not. and that void can be filled in a different way with other people. And yeah, it was good to see that, you don't need one if they're not there. It's absolutely fine. I had like black content creators, but I don't think we're there yet.
Not just yet.
Not just yet, so I'll hold on to that. As Lee Everett again, from The Walking Dead. So again, this is a family thing, I guess. Like, he comes along and he just becomes this great dad to Clementine, and I just love stories like that. I absolutely love it because there's nothing else driving him. It's just, I want to keep my little girl safe. Okay, now I have to deal with all these people, but it keeps my little girl safe. Right to the very end, so I won't spoil anything. I need to do what I need to do to not only keep my little girl safe, but this will help her to grow and become stronger in a way, because she has to do this really, really difficult thing. And she's gonna have to do more and more difficult things like this in her journey. This is hard, but it's gonna get harder. And I don't know, man. Like, I just like, this kind of crosses over between the black person and like the father figure role. 'Cause I just love any character that has that father or mother figure role to like someone else. I love the dynamic between them. There's always something that the father figure will learn from the child, and the child learns from the father figure, and so on. And it's just a really nice story. It's one of the reasons why I absolutely love God of War. One of the
Same.
reasons why. Right. Oh my god. Number
I
2.
love it.
The trace is all grown up. Boy. Oh, it's so good.
I'm glad you mentioned that character. I think that's what they could have done with Barrett, and they just completely missed the mark.
Yes, so easy. And it's really annoying, actually, because the whole point of Final Fantasy VII was to create the game they couldn't on the PS1, which is why it's going to be, I think, 2 or 3 games long now.
Mm-hmm.
And they kind of left Barrett in the 90s. Just polished him up a little bit, but just left him.
Like, they didn't know what to do with him.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? And it's like, well, I mean, come on. Social media exists. Like, we don't use email anymore. You can instant message someone. You can Skype someone. Just get someone in. Have a chat with them. Be like, okay, what can we do to make this character accurate?
Connect with our black audience.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? It's ridiculous. And isn't Barrett, like, because I haven't actually played the game, but isn't Barrett like a high-ranking officer or something? Or is he just a foot soldier?
He's like in charge of Avalanche. Like, he's basically like in charge of the rebels.
So the boss of the rebels, they didn't think that he might have some sort of education, because here's the thing, right? You can be the boss of an organization. That's so much easier than a rebel group, because there are more things you have to take into consideration.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not like you can just go pay your bills every quarter or whatever, or you can just get an order from Amazon and now all our troops are fed. There's so much more organization and logistics that go into it, and you're not gonna portray that in this character. It's a little bit annoying.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Like,
we're like,
on him.
Yeah. It's like, I didn't even think about it that way, but you're right.
Yeah, you're not going to follow somebody who doesn't know what they're talking about or doesn't know what they're doing. You know what I'm 100%. Saying? Especially if it's a rebel cause, because you're the minority in that, not trying to go off to die.
Exactly. And like, I'm just thinking about it. Barrett I think he's the only black person in that entire game. Yeah. So he
main character wise,
main character wise, yeah. So he would stick out like a sore thumb, and he's your leader. Come on, he's got to have some specialist skills that help him.
He's just loud. That's all he needs. You just need to be loud. Bring the people together. They're like, look, we just need somebody. So like, if he yells from one room, we'll all be able to hear it in the next room.
Oh, okay. That's all you need for rebel leader.
His special skill. Yeah.
Fair enough. Okay. Apologies then. I should have thought of that. My bad. But yeah, I think that's me for now, or my characters. Because I put this on gaming, and I could have thought of more, but there aren't that many in gaming, unfortunately. So I'll wait until content creators.
Yeah, no, that's fine, and I think this is a point that I'm trying to make very elaborately, that you haven't done enough with black people in your stories. And that is why that we struggle to come up with such an array of black game characters, or we struggled even 3 years ago to find so many black content creators. Like, there's been a
It's
massive
hard.
boom. Yeah, there's been a massive boom now, but like when we started, there weren't many mutuals like us, so we didn't have a lot of people to work with. So
Mhm.
it is yeah. What can I say? There are some black gaming characters that I am a fan of, but I think there is a theme to them. A lot of them are just like characters from multiplayer games, which isn't a problem in itself. But when you look at the deeper issue, they are not the focus of the story. So, like Adam Hunter from Streets of Rage, one of my favorite characters, he has an
Streets of
amazing
Rage.
design.
So
Streets
cool.
of Rage is sick. I love it so
it.
much.
My favorite one is 2. Streets of Rage.
2's
2.
great.
Yeah.
So I didn't play it originally, but I played it a couple of years ago at Four Quarters, and that's like an arcade place in the UK.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really, really fun. Loved it. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get the new one. Streets of Rage 4 is so banging. I love that Adam Hunter is now like the vet that came back. He's like, yeah, I'm the special guy. It's so cool, so cool.
I love his suspenders too. I think he looks so cool.
I liked Skate. I think that's his name. No,
Yeah, his little brother.
Yeah, his little brother was dope. Just fucking people up on those rollerblades. I was like, yo,
Skate.
he's dope.
Have you played the latest one, Destiny?
Yeah, we actually have a video up on the Burnout Brighter podcast. If you guys want to check that out, I was super excited because Matt and Darren have never played it. So like we played 4, and we got to the final boss, and he whooped our ass.
Damn.
Like the final boss of the first level. I liked it, but I felt like the mechanics were a little stiff compared to like the 90s games, and I was like, why am I moving so slow? No, it's dope. The redesign looks really, really good.
Yeah. Similarly, Akira and I did a Streets of Rage 4 run through, and we just got stuck on the last boss, which to be fair is very hard, but we enjoyed the game. Like, I know I enjoyed it. I love those kind of colors and stuff. That aesthetic.
Yeah.
Adam Hunter is one of the few people on the planet who could pull off suspenders like that. So,
and Steve Urkel.
Yeah.
And Steve Urkel, you're not wrong.
Absolutely. So yeah, he's one off the bat, Adam Hunter, and by proxy Skate. I really enjoyed playing him. Obviously, he wasn't on 4 the way he was on 2, so I don't have that much of a connection, but I really enjoyed playing as him on Streets of Rage 2 as well. Raven from the Tekken series, I really dug his design because he just looks like Blade to me. Just really cool. It gave me Scar from Full Metal Alchemist vibes because of obviously the scar on his face.
Oh my god, I immediately thought of Scar from Lion King for some reason. I hate that they consider that a black animated film. I'm like,
what?
Stop. Yeah.
That's our black Disney film. Fuck
yeah.
off.
What?
When they put like together lists, they always list Lion King as like a black animated film, even though it's all animals. And I think it's because the majority of the voice cast was black, but yeah.
No.
Yeah, absolutely not. But okay.
Who okayed that? Lion King, black people. Okay, well, I'm gonna ignore all that.
It's a thing, people. It's a thing.
Jesus. Okay. Static Shock, as I said at the start, was a really, really prominent moment for me because how the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air was like my first viewing of like an entire black cast. Like, oh right, this is how a black universe can be. Static Shock was a more realistic telling of a black person living in a white person's country.
Yeah.
So,
do you remember that episode where they dealt with racism?
Oh yeah.
Over to his friend's house and his dad. I was like, yo, he's an asshole. He was straight up like, I don't want that. Blah blah blah. And I was like, oh my god. Yeah, no, that was mad racist. His dad was tripping.
And it was a very uncomfortable scene. It was
very
uncomfortable episode.
Very uncomfortable episode.
But exactly, you can't tell me that there are people who haven't experienced that. Like, I know there's a lot of interracial relationships nowadays, and there are people who still harbor those kind of feelings.
Yeah.
So this is not a foreign feeling. This isn't something that's made up, and that is something that just feels black. Static Shock is just a show that feels black. Like the creators, the people who were maybe brought on as consultants, you can tell black people were involved in that show because white people who created that probably wouldn't have that scene in. They wouldn't want to show racism on the show, that stars a black person because it doesn't, give the right image. But Static Shock just dealt with everything. It dealt with drugs. It dealt with, gangs. It dealt with racism in school. It dealt with racism with the system. As you said, go into a friend's parents' house and find out, hey, they don't like black people. That's new. I didn't know that. I think Static Shock dealt with so many real life issues that at certain points I forgot that it was just a superhero show, and it mixed fantasy and reality enough for me to be like, I love this. And
you felt you could connect with it, and that's important. That's really important. Seeing yourself represented is always important, especially in a positive way. I get tired of seeing gangbangers and like rappers and shit like that. Like, show us something positive because we're so much more than that.
100%. And obviously this isn't a knock to like rappers and stuff. They're very talented people, but not every black person is a rapper. Not every black person aspires to be a rapper.
Right?
And
we're not all football players or
exactly.
Beyonces. Damn.
So some of us do want to get into dance. Some of us do want to get into the creative side, then that's okay. We just need those stories told in a positive way as well. Static Shock for me, I think, was probably the first like black superhero that I'd seen, because growing up before, there was Dragon Ball Z and there was Pokemon, and then there was like Dexter's Lab and all of this, but they all centered
Pokemon's
around
a very white world. Very white.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very white world.
Even Brock's white.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Most of the cartoons are set in a very white world.
Storm, 100%, but from X-Men Evolution, I think that's the best version of X-Men for me. Like Cyclops banging, Wolverine banging, but Storm absolutely had that mother-like figure to Spike, who needed it, because Spike was a talented kid, but he was directionless. He was going through puberty. He was of that age. He didn't know.
That was her nephew, right?
Yeah.
It makes sense now, especially as an adult watching Spike, and he's so confused and he's just misbehaving and he doesn't get school, and he's with he is the minority in the school, and like he doesn't understand why he doesn't fit in, and he just does all of these stuff. And Storm is always there to just guide him in the correct way, and I just love that kind of positive family dynamic.
I love that Storm never forgot who she was or lost who she was. She never catered to anybody in that universe ever. So that's why I always loved her. I wanted to like bring up, because I feel like we're not going to say him, but the Black Ranger in the original Power Rangers, nobody ever really talks about him. He was the only black character, and then they brought in the black girl for the Yellow Ranger. But like, I always remember seeing that and being like, there's nobody else black in that entire town. Like, what is happening right now?
Fiction was very bad back then.
Yeah.
I
mean, I loved me some Power Rangers. I loved me some Power Rangers when I was little.
Oh, same here.
Even at the whole film, I remember it was the slime ooze one or whatever.
Yeah, ooze.
Which meant there was even more characters, but still one black guy. What's happening in this town? He's got parents, right? I'm sure they've got black friends in this town.
He wasn't in the first movie. He actually left the show. In the first movie, the black character was the black girl, Aisha. She was the Yellow Ranger, because that's when Ivan Ooze was the first like movie that they came out with, and he had already left the cast by then. I mean, there were just a lot of suspicious things going on. You had that giant building nobody discovered.
Giant building?
The building, they all go in and see Zordon or whatever his name is. Was his name Zordon? The giant floating
Zordon.
head? Yeah, they all like end up. No, it's a building, like in the middle of the desert.
Underground bunker or something.
No, it's like on top. It's like this big building, and they all like go in, and I'm just like, nobody else ever discovered that? Like, it's just out there.
Fair enough.
Using up the electricity and stuff.
This is great writing.
Power Rangers is ruined for me.
Sorry.
I mean, really quickly, Destiny, what's your favorite Power Rangers version?
Since I grew up on the first one, I'd say I'm gonna stick with the OG Power Rangers, even though it is the what's the campiest and cheesiest one.
Yeah.
I remember when they were fighting the puppets and the heads would jiggle and stuff. I think that's the best one. I had a crush on the Black Ranger, not the original one, but the second one, and I don't even know what race he was. He wasn't white. He was something, and he was upset because he was a frog. And I'll always remember that in the movie.
Yeah, you were so pissed. You were
He
sad.
was like, everybody else got something cool, and he's like, I get a frog, and I was like, they would do that to the Black Ranger. Give him a fucking frog. Everybody, people over here have pterodactyls and fucking tigers and lions, and he has a fucking amphibian.
Come on.
Yeah.
Cool prehistoric animals. And
yeah. So, but yeah, I think the OG one is my favorite. Yeah.
That's fair. I think mine is either Time Force or maybe SPD. But that's really late. So
see, I don't even know what those are. Like, I think I stopped watching it after the first movie, the first major movie. I was like, well, all right, well, I'm done. Got my McDonald's Happy Meal toy. I'm set.
Yeah, there were just so many installments. Some of them were police officers, some of them were ninja. So yeah, it was they got very creative with it.
Yeah, they've done it all, I think.
Yeah. I mean, they'll come up with pirates soon. You never know.
What?
I'd watch that.
Really?
I don't know.
Power Ranger Pirates?
Yeah, I'm down for that.
I can see them doing that. Yeah.
I mean, I guess they're out on the seas.
Yeah.
Fighting sea monsters and shit.
Fighting krakens and
Yeah.
Why not?
That would be like a 2-episode series. Can't really do much after that. Fight the kraken. We're done here. Oh my god.
I've had to stop One Piece.
I stopped One Piece. My ex-boyfriend got really mad at me. I was like, it's the same show with different people. They always meet somebody who's going through some shit, and they're like, hey, you know what? It's all right. Join our crew. It's not going to affect us in any way possible. It affects them. They get through with it. They go off, and they repeat the same stupid mistake every couple of episodes. That is One Piece.
I mean, the captain's an idiot, and the first mate has no sense of direction. So,
oh my god, that changes our whole theory on, like, to be a leader, you actually have to be educated and know what you're talking about, because Luffy is a fucking idiot.
Anime does not translate to real life.
That's true.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave it there.
Yeah, all right, that's true.
Having this.
I like Luffy though. He's lovable.
He is. Yeah.
He's simple. Yeah.
I love how, and I like his innocence as well. There's a scene where
how is he still innocent by this time? Like, I don't understand. I think, and this is not to make fun of anybody, but like, I really think he's on the spectrum.
You know what? Yeah, I can see that.
I really think he is. Because like his social cues and stuff, like he just stuff be going over his head. And if that were the case, that would be kind of dope, because it would be another form of representation if they came out and said, like, yeah, this is why he doesn't get a lot of the things and he keeps doing the same things over and over. But then again, I think it's really just that stupid thing where it's like friendship.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm sick and tired of the power of friendship in anime. I hate that trope.
Yo, me too.
So, I mean, I guess we could talk about Black content creators at this point in time. Yeah. I mean, anyone that you enjoy that puts out content.
Any kind of content or like gaming?
Yeah, any.
Well, it can be any kind of content, really, because as we were saying before, like even 3 years ago, like legit, I was looking up Black content creators in the UK, you know, in the gaming scene or otherwise, that weren't KSI or any of his friends, and like I was struggling to find any. So this would be a nice place to like actually shout out a lot of our friends that we do like to see their content and stuff, because there have been a huge rise, especially throughout the pandemic. So there's been a huge rise in content creators, streamers, and all of that. So yeah, this is the time. Right. Destinee?
So I'd like to throw out Streamcast. They create some amazing stuff. No, for real, like you guys are doing the damn thing. Midas, who has been doing some amazing stuff. Validate, who has a game coming out. Like, she's really dope. Danny from Validate. We just had Sharpie on. She is a very educated young woman very educated. We had some serious debates. She's amazing. She basically hosted Game Devs of Color this year, and I
Wow.
think she did it the year before, so go check her out. Just for any creators, I purposely named Issa Rae before because she used to have a web series called Awkward Black Girl. If you haven't seen that, go check it out, and then go watch her actual show last season coming out pretty soon. I'd like to shout out my friend Justin Woodward, who did Black Voices in Gaming. So he kind of like worked on getting that showcase together, which happened back when E3 was happening. He's amazing. He's always like trying to create things for Black voices as a Black male himself who is into gaming. We went to school together for well, he went to school for gaming. I went to school for animation, but we're in the same school. So but yeah, those are the people I want to count out. There's a lot more. There's definitely a lot more. I just can't think of them off the top of my head because I have like a shitty memory. And like right after this ends, I'll be like, oh, but, and then it'll be done. So just for all of those people that I've ever had any contact with who's out there creating things and you're a Black voice in this community, just know that like I support you. You've been doing amazing things. I'm sorry if I didn't drop your name. This is like my Academy acceptance speech. Just know that you're important to all the people out there who have helped me get where I am today.
Oh,
So, yeah.
yeah. No, I agree. That was lovely. Thank you for shouting us out.
Yeah,
Appreciate
no,
that.
I mean, like that would have been shitty if I didn't, right? Like I'm on your show and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna name all these other people, and if, like no, and that's not just why I named you. You guys are doing amazing things, and I didn't even know. Like I'll say, I didn't know any of you guys existed because I wasn't in this realm, you know? So like when I got on and then I was like, wait a minute, my people out there, I see you. So yeah.
Oh, thank you so much. Appreciate that. Those very kind words. Isaac, what about you?
Well, I guess, I have to do the same thing. Matt and his co-hosts, those two guys, amazing people on the Burnout Brighter pod. Like, absolutely love what they do. It's an amazing duo. I enjoy the series massively.
You see, I'm nice, but he's petty. You see? That's why I gotta give him these hands. Cobra Kai.
I was so tempted to take you off the screen right now.
And he didn't even say Darren's name. He's like, Matt, those two guys, doing great things. The other guy that's with Matt.
My bad, Darren. Sorry. I don't know why Darren slipped my mind. Sorry, Darren.
This is why Darren needs to get angry. Yeah,
yes.
He needs to start coming for people like you.
Yes.
Say my name.
I didn't push him in the piss.
He would be like, "Oh, it's all right. People forget my name all the time. It's okay." He would.
That's him. He would. Legit. Oh, come on, Darren.
Darren, stand up
really
for
nice.
yourself.
Yeah.
He is really nice.
Yeah,
I want him to get with a Black woman so bad. Like I do. I just think she would like protect him and love him and feed him. I think that's what he needs. I'm serious. I know that sounds weird, but like all the time I'm like, Darren, I hope you get some chocolate in your life.
Oh. So the reason I started laughing is because I know you meant in a very sincere way. The way you described it was a pet owner's relationship with a pet. Protect him, feed him, walk him twice a day.
No. Listen, because like if I'm in a relationship, right, I want to support my man, right? Mm-hmm. I want to feed him, I want to stand up for him, protect him, and I want to love him. Like I feel like those are like important things that you give in a relationship. Those are the things I want to give. And I feel like when somebody feels loved, protected, and of course fed, I'm gonna say fed because I love food. All right. So like if you're not feeding me, then I'm probably gonna break up with you. So
checks out.
Yeah. And I know y'all love food too. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. See, it's important. Food is important.
It is. It was just the delivery. I just loved it. It was very much a pedigree advert.
I just want him to pet him and make him feel safe.
Get him his cat food.
He would be a cat.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Darren, we love you.
We do love you, Darren.
Mm-hmm,
Legitimately, we do love you, Darren.
Yeah, 100%.
Isaac, do you have any actual Black content creators, or was that your entire bit?
No. There's Destinee, obviously.
Oh, thank
Um,
you.
just honestly, like, full of so much insight. I love the fact that you're ruining shows that I enjoyed when I was younger, but it's a good thing because you're opening my eyes to, like, oh, this is actually a problem. When I think Burnout Bright Pod was introduced to me by Andy, and literally you have entered the pods I listen to when I cook, which is a special position. Like, it's the title of honor, really, because I do love cooking, but at the same time it's boring as fuck. It's such a scam. I'm here for 1
It
hour
really is.
to enjoy myself for 10 minutes. But yeah, like, you guys make it a lot easier.
Aw, that makes me
I'm
happy.
I'm glad to hear that. And then you've got the other UK black content creators. So obviously you've got the Authors, you've got Melanin Gamers, you've got Nay Saga, you've got Nerd Council. Just great content. You've got Brown Sugar Saga, who a massive shout out to, because she put me on Tokyo Revengers, which has got to be one of the best animes I've seen in a long time. I jumped the gun because I was watching it and I got to episode 12, and that was also the end of her reviews. And I was like, oh, most anime stop at 12. So I binged out the manga, and then they're now on episode 24. So I might have jumped the gun a little bit. I could have enjoyed manga a little bit longer, but whatever. And obviously there's Mr. Midas, who is I think he's a robot. Like, he's just, the content just keeps on coming out, and I'm like, sir, when do you have time for this?
Midas, everything he touches is gold.
Ooh.
I mean, yeah, he picked. He did not miss when he picked that name.
Yeah.
Honestly. I don't know when he sleeps. Honestly,
I don't think he does.
He's on his no days off ish.
For real.
And then I guess, like, some, like, non UK gamer thing. Oh no, actually no, he still counts as non-UK gamer because he is UK, but he's not a gamer. There's a guy called Amigos Code, and so I've just recently become a software developer, and he, like, has lots of videos on, like, different frameworks, different languages, etc. And honestly, he got me through my training. He gets me through work sometimes. I'm just there like, I have no idea what I'm doing. Then, like, 20 minutes later, I'm like, okay, all right, I can continue until lunch, until the next problem. There's two guys who deal with Smash stuff. One guy's called Larry Lur, one guy's called, like, Wadi. So the Smash community, I guess it's a little bit diverse, but no, it is very diverse. But at the same time, it's nice seeing someone black, review, especially because one of them plays with, like, my main character. So it's good to see applications of that. I'm absolutely garbage at Smash, but it's nice seeing someone do. Yay! It's nice seeing someone do, like, great things with my character. I'm like, this character's actually good. And then one day, if I try hard enough, I could be that good. I'm not gonna try that hard, but it's let's see what it can do. And yeah, like, there are a lot more content creators who are of color, and just in that list alone, that's more content creators than black content creators that I knew existed like 5-10 years ago. So that's such a good thing, because honestly, I think I only remember, as you said earlier, Andy KSI. That's all I knew. And that's, like, I'm so happy that even from a young age, a part of me was just like, what's happening here? Because the way I'd be dead if I tried to interact with my mum like that in any way, shape, or I wouldn't be here. I'd be 6 feet under. Like, she brought me into this world. She'd take me out.
Take you out.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know how he's getting away with this, but I'm not even gonna know.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, like, it's good to see more of us out there. And again, it's just like, you see someone looks like you, and I don't know what it is, but it's just easier to take in what they're saying, I guess. So yeah, that's me. What about you, Andy?
Lovely. I have so many. Hopefully, I hope I don't forget any. So I'm gonna shout out Destinee as well. Just gonna give the love back. Burnout Brighter is honestly one of my favorite podcasts to listen to, and
an amazing duo. I'm sorry. I'm joking. The three of you are amazing.
I just like to listen to podcasts while cooking. I like to listen to podcasts in the gym, actually. So you're one of the podcasts that I listen to in the gym. And yeah, that's like really high praise, because like when I'm in the gym, like I'm on my worst behavior. Like I'm not a nice person. Don't talk to me. Don't ask me to use the bar. Don't ask me how many sets I've got. I've got 10. All right, go away. So yeah, I definitely need something to get me in the mood, and the three of you work perfectly. It feels like you've been friends your entire life, and yeah, like it's a lot for me to like focus while I'm lifting heavy. So I really do appreciate you, and I hope you continue to be amazing and get all the game codes and review everything. So yeah, I've been really proud
We're
of like
trying.
yeah, honestly, I've been really proud of seeing like the summer of Burnout Bright has been mad. Like the amount of things you've just covered, people you've gotten on. Like I saw the was it Black Voices in Gaming? I thought that your coverage of that was amazing. And I'm a big fan of Matt. I'm a big fan of Darren, and especially you, Destinee. When the way you get when it comes to like social topics and racism, like it is really empowering just to like feel your passion through the pod. So yeah, just really big fan of you.
Thank you.
Don't be crying, because I'll have to take the compliment back.
I might start crying
Yeah,
too.
okay.
So please don't.
You know that like cartoon where he just sucks the tear right back up in his face? That's what just happened. I'm so upset.
Huge shout out to Mr. Midas, who went out of his way to tag me and was like, listen to Burnout Brighter, work together. This Mr. Midas is a unique individual and arguably one of the hardest working people in any media or realm. I am a big fan of his work. Like, I think he's one of the funniest people, and no one else could be Mr. Midas. Like, his energy is genuine, and if anyone else was to try and replicate it, you would spot it from a mile away. So, massive shout out to Mr. Midas. Really love what he does. He's a great guy, and he knows talent. Like, I'm hooked on Burnout Brighter. He put us, in communication with each other. And he's been really nice to us. He's always given us some good advice. He's been on the pod as well. So, yeah, no, nothing but respect for him. Other people include Nerd Council, specifically Timmy, because he is the heart and soul of that brand. I've got a lot of love for the brothers. The reason why I don't know if you know anything about KSI Destinee, but he was very much the standard for a long time before we started making content, and he was like the one Black British person making YouTube videos. So he is big now because of that. But a lot of his humor was like self-deprecating, anti-Black humor, throwing stuff at his mum and brothers and stuff, and joining in with the white kids making racist jokes, which made them think it was okay to make those jokes. So, not a fan of KSI at all, or anyone of that ilk. But like when people are just themselves on camera, like Nerd Council are, I love that. Got a shout out Steph from Naysaga, one of the first people to do it in the UK. It is amazing to see what she's made of her platform now. She's arguably the biggest out of all of the UK brands, and it's really good to see that people like Pandora and PlayStation and FIFA are now just working with her, because when she started, she was spending her own money getting these venues and tournaments done, and now FIFA like, don't worry about that, we'll take care of that for you. So
Nice.
yeah, seeing that growth has just been beautiful to see. I want to give Nigel from Maya Mada a massive shout out, because I think what he's doing is really inspirational. And my thing is, when people are doing different things fundamentally to what everyone else is doing, I love that even more, because you stand out. He is making manga, original manga. And
I saw that. I thought that was dope.
Yeah, we all love manga, and it's just so cool to see someone that looks like us behind it. He's worked with brands like BBC and so many other big brands that, yeah, I'm just like really proud to see what he's made of his brand, and I hope that he can bring Gamepad back to the in-person vibe, because they're a vibe like none other. We were able to work with him once, and yeah, I can't remember a better feeling that I've had with a fellow content creator. So yeah, massive shout out to Nigel. There's obviously there are a lot of other people, Melanin Gamers. If I did not mention Melanin Gamers, I would be some sort of fraud.
You put me onto them.
They are nothing but stars in the making. Like Annabelle is one of those people who I don't think she sleeps just because she's working on so many things. She's working on the book. She's working on, tournaments. She just went to Ghana to host some tournaments. Like,
That's
she's just
dope.
about world domination. And Alan is just the GOAT. He is a brother of Thanos, brother in Thanos, I should say. He understands, he believes in the chaos. And he is one of my favorite people of all time because he will start an argument for no reason. We met up in not too long ago, and he argued with like 15 people because he could. Just legendary goat shit. He is a problem, and I hope no one solves him.
I love that. I am stealing that. Oh my god, you're a problem, and I hope nobody solves you. I mean that in the best
Gold.
possible way.
Honestly, yeah. Yeah, Four Eyes Academia is another brand that I'm really fond of. I know a lot of them well, and I'm really proud of what they've done with their brand as well. Yeah, I love how they've incorporated manga as well, because there are a lot of people talking about anime, but not so many talking about manga and comics and all stuff nerdy. So I'm really happy for them, and I wish them every success. Sonic Fox, who is possibly the greatest Dragon Ball Fighters player ever, they are my favorite esports athlete just because of their emotion. I love how they are not afraid to be a furry. Like, they just wear the hot. I don't know how he does it as well. They just have the fox head, and that must get hot in there. I don't know how they manage it.
Yeah.
Oh. But they are such a talent. I am such a fan of them, and I'd love to meet them at least once in my lifetime.
You will. We're going to put that positive energy out there. You absolutely
There we
will.
go. I'll claim it. And if I haven't mentioned you, I really am apologetic, but there's just so many people making content. Pyro Kid Sosa, who made our theme music, what a legend he is. Love him. Absolute legend. DLK Games, we've had him on the pod. His energy is just like Mr. Midas. It's unique and it's very genuine. No one else could ever be like him. And yeah, I'm a genuine fan of DLK Games. I always try and make time for him to watch his streams. I just love it. There's so many great people. Shanghai, I don't know if you're familiar with Destinee, but UK-based content creator, big Sonic fan. Didn't realize they were such a big Sonic fan. So yeah, just like, and their outfits are just on point all the time. So yeah.
You're giving me so many people to like go and watch. I need more Black content YouTubers, because I will sit there and watch someone play an entire game that I never plan on buying myself. Like, that's what I did with The Witcher. He played that game for 2 years, and I would tune in and be like, oh shit, it's another 3-hour episode of shenanigans. So yeah, I want to support y'all. Like, when they put this up, comment or something. Tell me who you are, so I could go and subscribe and like watch your shit, because I will do it late at night when I ain't got nothing to do.
Absolutely. Someone who is already made, Mighty Keith, one of my favorite content creators, always has it on point with the YouTube videos. One of our good friends, Miles, put me onto him, and
I think he's coming on the show. I think.
No way.
Nice.
I think
No
so.
way.
If I'm thinking of the same person, yeah, I think he's coming on.
That's so cool.
Don't lie to me, Destinee.
Okay, look, I'm scared. Like, I'm real scared right now. Ask Matt, because now I'm not sure. But I that's not like an average name that you see.
No.
So I'm thinking it's the same person. Like, I think he posted a tweet like he wanted to support creators and podcasts, and he told people to, if you'd like me to come on, message me. So we did. So, cool. So I think, I'm pretty sure that's him.
Nice.
I'm there. I want this podcast tomorrow.
Yeah, he has a little blue star thing by his name, right?
Yeah. He's verified. Yeah.
Same dude.
Hey.
Right.
Hey.
Nice.
Okay, sorry.
That's a huge flex. But yeah, there are just so many mutuals that we could just go on and on about. Just amazing content creators out there. And And if we haven't mentioned you, or we didn't mention your favorite Black content creator, please leave a comment or hit us up on Twitter and or Instagram, Streamcast_. Let us know who your favorite Black content creators are.
Just
Isaac?
a quick one, because I can't believe I forgot them.
Ooh.
The Nerd Alternative. Brilliant pods.
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
is a man of chaos. And is it Ram and
Levi.
Ram and Levi? That's how can I forget the name Levi as well?
Such a cool name.
Just like you forgot the
Yeah,
name
I know,
Darren.
right? I'm sorry. Goldfish memory as well. But yeah, really enjoy their pods as well. Again, I listen to them when I cook too. They had a really good one on Invincible, and just agreed with all of their points. And I was just like, yeah, it's really good, because I don't like, in my circles, not everyone, you know, enjoys the same content I do. But like, when you listen to these pods, it's like, oh yeah, there's more people out there who share the same, you know, thoughts and whatnot. And I'm like, this is great. And you know, sometimes I do enjoy the chaos a little bit. So when Hallie starts talking, it's like, oh, it's amazing. Just a smidge. Because Hallie is chaos incarnate. I wouldn't know what that's like. But you know, it's good.
Hallie is you, but on the Nerd Alternative.
That's the nicest thing you've ever said to me.
But please forgive me for getting their names, but yeah, they are absolutely one of my favorites. They're another podcast that I listen to in the gym. I will never forget trying to bench while listening to them rip on Fast and Furious 9, and they shout on that film differently. It was so funny.
They should stop making them.
They should, but it's too much money now. Like, Fast and Furious will legit make itself. It doesn't even need to be a director anymore.
That's true.
Like, it makes itself.
Where can they go now?
So weird. I just feel like they've done everything they could do with the fast cars and the robbing and the family. Like,
they could always go underwater. They could always explore.
I love
alien
that.
planets.
Like, yours was like pirates, and now you're like, they can go underwater.
I
need
One
a water
Piece.
theme in there. It's like with Caribbean, like Pirates of the Caribbean. Well, they could go on land, and we could see what's going to happen there.
I want to shout out Einel because we know him and he's great.
Einel's making moves, man. Einel's just a great actor, a great guy, great comedian.
Yeah.
Nothing bad to say about him.
He's great. He was on the Love Island ads as well this year, which is like really good content for us Brits here. So I think you've got a Love Island in America, which is a lot better.
I don't know what that is.
That might be for the best.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not for the brain.
Oh, okay.
No.
Attractive people go to an island and, you know, they have sex and stuff, and the prettiest couple gets the chance to win money. So
The what couple? The freakiest couple?
prettiest.
Oh, the pretty. That's so shit.
Is that how it works?
Yeah.
Oh,
I definitely wouldn't watch that.
Okay.
People vote aesthetically, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. Who's that guy on TikTok who just made like $1 million by just pointing out the normal shit?
I love that guy.
He is making moves.
He's in adverts now. Legit
Yeah,
adverts.
he's like, I used to be mad though. I used to be like, just put some lotion on your hands before you film your videos.
Oh.
My piece of heel though.
You hating.
Like the ash.
I'm not hating.
We've got support.
Present your best self. We got to present our best self.
Part of his brand.
No, it's not, because he don't look dusty in them ads.
He might chalk up before shoots just to keep it authentic. He might put on the cream and then the chalk. So underneath, you know his skin is good.
Like, I want him to stay beautiful, long, and young and moisturized. So
That's
just
I also want to shout out our really good friend Jordan, who's a comedian. He hates it when I bring up that he's a comedian, but he's actually very funny. I think he's the funniest out of all of us, and I really hope that we get to see him the same way that a lot of people see like Mo and Munya. They're really funny. Oh, he's the goat. He's the goat.
He's so funny.
So we
Laughs
have
in microaggression.
Yeah, so we have a bunch of indie comedians in the UK, and some of them have really made it big. Big Shaq is one of them. So
after this, please give me a list of these. Like, I need
we'll have
more content. You know, because usually I meet British people, and I'm like, God, you guys are so mean. But that's probably just because I dated them and they were assholes. But
well, I will say Londoners are mean, especially if we're on the way to or from work. Do not talk to us.
But that's like New York. But
Okay,
you guys
fair.
are like, you guys are really, really nice.
Yeah.
You
Wait, I thought we
are.
were mean.
No, not all people from England are mean. I've just met some people
Oh,
from
fair.
England who are
Yeah.
mean, and I think maybe it's just because I dated them and I have a thing for assholes.
Mhm.
But you guys are really
Maybe.
it's true.
Mm.
It's true. Like I don't even realize it. I'm like, I think I equate assholeness to tough, and that's not
It's not
what
always
it
no,
is. That's
no,
not what it
no,
is.
no.
So I'm learning. It took me
Mhm.
a long time, but here we are.
That's good. You know, it's good
Yeah.
to learn and better yourself as a result of it.
And put lotion on your hands as you get more famous.
Always, yeah. Oh, not even as you get more famous, just always.
Yeah,
From the
just, you know,
start.
like
Yeah.
I mean, like you should always be moisturizing, right?
Mhm.
Right?
Absolutely.
Look, you guys look moisturized.
Thank you.
That's why I'm always late to record stuff. I'm like,
Yeah, yeah.
I'm
Like,
making. I'm just gonna
slathered
double
it.
check everything. I'm
That
lotion
cocoa
up.
butter, baby. That
That's it.
shea butter.
Once again, thank you so much, Destinee, for hanging out with us. Please promote yourself. Where can the people find you and your cohorts?
Guys, you can find me and my homies Darren and Matt over at the Burnout Brighter podcast, where again, we talk about social justice issues, we talk about video games, we talk about mental health in the industry. Basically, we talk about anything that comes, you know, up. Like I think we talked about pizza and French fries the other day. So, you know, whatever. We talk about whatever and make like great content. I'm so proud of them. We're trying to use our platform to just uplift voices that include diversity and inclusion. And honestly, yeah, that's where you can find me. You can find me over on my Instagram, but I will tell you that it is shenanigans and I post random, actually don't follow me there. Go to go to my
180.
I mean, if you find me, like kudos to you. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a challenge now. It's a game. Okay. But yeah, follow me over at Twitter. And I'm also a writer at Level 1 Gaming now. So I started putting out articles about indie games. And yeah, like just look me up, find me. I'm always down to meet new people and talk to creatives and like get this ball running. And if you're Black, especially, reach out to me because I want to hear from you. I want to know what you're doing with your life. And if you need help, if you're starting out and you just want a platform to like shout yourself out, hit me up. We'll get you on the Burnout Brighter podcast.
Amazing.
See.
And where can people find your comics again?
Oh yeah, that. So you can find You can find my webcomic on Facebook. It's Pudding and Flan. You can also find us over on Instagram, and I'll make sure to give them the details so you can just like click it.
In the description below.
It'll be in the description. Yeah.
And if you are watching this podcast on YouTube, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe to the Streamcast, youtube.com/Streamcast. Tap the bell and set it to all so you get every single one of our videos as soon as it goes live. We are just putting out a lot of stuff right now, and I really hope that you enjoy the content that we put out. Our podcast is available wherever you get your podcasts. That includes Spotify and Apple Podcasts. If we do not currently air our episodes where you like to have them, please let us know. Hit us up. And if your platform allows you, please give us a rating because that greatly helps us out. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram, Streamcast_. Follow on Twitch, Streamcast TV. Check out our website, thestreamcast.co.uk, where you can find a lot of weird facts about the industry, what we want to do about it, and our blog posts. And we will be speaking at the Develop Brighton conference. We'll be speaking with many indie gamers, including authors. And other great people will be there as well. We'll be talking about diversity in the gaming scene. So make sure you get your tickets. We'll put another link in the description so you can check that out. And we are also on Patreon. So if you'd like to support us directly, please feel free to. We'll put our link inside and you get perks like exclusive content. So yeah, make sure to support us any way you can. That is it, I think.
Yeah, no. Oh, and they'll also be on the Burnout Brighter podcast for Black History Month. When we're in partnership, and we're in partnership with Yuki and Raise the Game. So guys, that will be a much shorter show. It'll be about 30 minutes. So
yeah, you'll have to stop us. Really quickly, I want to give a shout out to Blue Microphone who supplied us with a Streamcam and a Blue Yeti. empowering us to give you the best possible content, whether that be podcasts, live streams, or otherwise. So thank you, Blue. This podcast is powered by Blue, and we hope to be powered by Blue for many, many more years to come.
Go Blue.
Go Blue. And we'll be at EGX and Comic Con, so we hope to see you at both of those events. But until the next Streamcast, please take care of yourselves and your loved ones. Stay safe, and we'll see you on the next Streamcast.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Have a beautiful time.
Yeah.